Go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host of Schmoedown All Access, Christopher Woodburn. This is a brand new episode. I got some kick-ass individuals with me today. Joining us as always is the King of Hearts, runs the IG League and Jack of all trivia. He is James Schmo.
What's going on, C-Dub? What's going on? Ready to talk some Schmoedown? We got a lot to unpack, especially with Friday's video.
Yes, we do. And also returning, he is one of my favorite people, period. He is Caleb Boatman.
Hey man, what's going on? Yeah, this is actually the first time I've been on this show twice in a row, like 2 weeks in a row. I've been on this show a lot, but first time 2 consecutive weeks in a row, so I'm really happy about that. Excited, we got a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Absolutely, and he'll be joining us a little later. He is my co-host running the ones and twos. He is the villain, Haven Pendergast.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Alrighty, well, we had a couple matches this week. On Tuesday, we had a team match. We had Only Stupid Answers, who consists of Sam Basher and DJ Woolridge, taking on the Scream Queens, who are led by Haley Fouch and Kaylin Corrigan. Now, coming to this match, we had only seen these teams, a few times, so I didn't really know what to make of it. So I was going with Only Stupid Answers, but in this first round, Haley Fouch, she was the standout. She got 7 out of her 8 questions right. The only question she missed was Ray Liotta played Shoeless Joe Jackson in Field of Dreams. Kaylin, she struggled. She only got 2 out of the 7 correct. Sam also struggled, getting 2 out of 7. DJ did decent. He got 5 out of 7, and Only Stupid Answers was up 9-7. The only question that all 4 of these competitors was able to get correct was who did Dorothy meet second in The Wizard of Oz, and that answer was the Tin Man. Caleb, I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts coming into this match and the first round?
Yeah, as far as coming into this match, I didn't expect too much from either because I think, they both had played Only Stupid Answers had only played 2 matches and Scream Queens had only played 1, and I wasn't super impressed with either match. But yeah, coming into it, I thought that Only Stupid Answers was probably going to get because a little more experience, and I was not too impressed, despite the fact they got a win. I was not too impressed with the Scream Queens' performance in their match, but Haley Fouch, man, you're right. In that round 1, she was a monster, just taking out question after question. She did super well. And, yeah, she did much better than I thought she would. And both teams, really, I did a little better than I thought they would.
Yeah. James?
Yeah, I'll agree to that. I mean, being a fan of professional wrestling for as long as I've been, I've noticed there's a lot of similarities, as we've all noticed, between that and the Schmoedown. You have your what we call the main event card, which is your Shire Wolves. You have your above the line, the Patriots, things like that. Then you have your mid card, which would be more your Wildberries. Your I guess the Horsemen would be there now that they're no longer in the top contention. You'd have your critically acclaimed, and then you have the lower mid card or even the undercard, which is where guys like Only Stupid Answers, Kingsman, and things like that would be. So yeah, this was definitely more the undercard area. So I wasn't expecting much coming from these guys going into it because, like Caleb had noted, 2 matches for Only Stupid Answers, 1 for the Scream Queens. Didn't really have a decent sample size to really gauge who was technically the better team, but yeah, overall, like you guys were saying, the Scream Queens did very well. Both teams did, but yeah, Haley was absolutely the standout. She was rocking it like nobody's business, and yeah, overall, I was super impressed with their performance.
Yeah, I also like to note, like I said, Haley missed on the Shoeless Joe Jackson question, Ray Liotta. I was very surprised that all 4 of them missed that question. I mean, I guess maybe I love that film, so I knew it instantly, but I was surprised that even Sam and DJ didn't know that as well.
Yeah, I've only seen the movie once, and I knew that.
Same. I only saw it once, and then the only reason I remembered his name was because I was like, oh yeah, it's that one guy from Goodfellas.
Well, yeah, I think he only has like a couple movies that are like super memorable. It's like Goodfellas and Field of Dreams, and that's about it.
I believe he was also in a movie with Madeline Stowe. It was called Unlawful Entry.
That sounds right.
I don't think
And he was in John Q with Denzel Washington.
That's right. That's right.
I never saw John Q.
Me either, but I do remember that bit of trivia coming up.
Yourself, that's a really well done film.
Oh.
All right.
All right. So yeah, Scream Queens. Sorry, were up 9-7, and they elected to go first, and they spun Nicole Kidman, and they stuck with it, and they did pretty damn well. They got 5 out of 6 for their 10 points, and then Stupid Answers. They come up, they spin New Releases. And they get all 6 of their questions correct for 9 points. And also, Only Stupid Answers, they got a 1-point steal. But nonetheless, the Scream Queens were up 19-17. I mean, what were your guys' thoughts on that second round?
I mean, here's the thing with the second round, and this is what really impressed me about the Scream Queens, and again, especially Haley and all of that, is I feel like going through a filmography sort of category for like a specific actor is way more difficult than going through a specific genre, because with a genre you can kind of tell exactly what you're in for. Like if you get fantasy sci-fi, you're like, okay, I'm probably going to get Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek, Alien, Predator, any number of these things. But when you go by just one actor or actress's specific filmography, there could be so many different films, and you're like, oh damn, I forgot that person was even in that film, or I forgot that film even existed. So it's a much more deep cut, or lends itself more to deep cut questions, in my opinion. And that was really what impressed me with the Scream Queens, is the fact that they knew Nicole Kidman, and that they knew enough about her films and studied enough about them that they could rattle those off. I could only think of maybe 1 or 2 actors I could do that with, and Nicole Kidman would definitely not be one of them. So that was really telling to me. Again, with Only Stupid Answers getting new releases, there were some questions I was like, really, is The Greatest Showman really considered a new release still this far out? It's been like 8 months since that one came out. And like, what's the time frame on that? But even so, I've thought they did fairly well. But again, even though it was neck and neck, the Scream Queens showed way more in their round 2 than I felt like the Only Stupid Answers team did.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like on Nicole Kidman, the only slam dunk answer that I knew was, of course, that she played Dr. Trace Meridian in Batman Forever. Like, I completely forgot about her Oscar win for The Hours. Like, I'd seen that movie, but I completely forgot all about it.
Yeah, Haley did super well with Nicole Kidman, kind of echo what you guys are saying. And honestly, it makes me want to see her go into the singles league. I think that she could at least do solid in the single league, and maybe even better than that. I don't know. I think she could do very well in singles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did very well in round 2.
Yeah, so Scream Queens, they were up 19-17. They picked their numbers 2, 3, and 5. Only Stupid Answers goes with 12, 16, and 20. Stupid Answers, Only Stupid Answers 2-pointer was in new releases. Question was, and Sam took this one. It was, who plays young Elio in the 2017 indie hit Call Me By Your Name? And unfortunately for him, he mispronounced it. The answer was Timothy Chalamet, but he said, I'm trying to remember what
Timothy
he said.
Shallot, wasn't it? Is what he said, or Shallot?
Yeah, something like that. So they couldn't give him couldn't give it to him, even though he said he didn't know if he was pronouncing it correctly. So then they go on to their 3-pointer, which was an action adventure. DJ took that. Question was, what X-Men First Class cast member plays one of Immortan Joe's wives, Toast the Knowing, in Mad Max Fury Road? He came up with that answer. It was Zoe Kravitz. So then we bounced it on to the Scream Queens for their 2-pointer. Haley took it. Category was Sandy B. Was pretty easy question. Who played the other astronaut, Matt Kowalski, in Gravity? She got that correct. George Clooney. So you bounce it back to Only Stupid Answers, their 5-pointer. Category of Julia Roberts. And it was, what was the first film that Julia Roberts was nominated for an Academy Award? They guessed Pretty Woman, which I ain't gonna lie, I would have guessed as well, but they were incorrect. Answer was Steel Magnolias. So Scream Queens get a victory, 21-20. James, what were your thoughts on the entire match? We can't hear you, buddy.
Still can't hear you.
Caleb, I'll go to you first until he fixes it.
Okay. So yeah, it was a better match than I thought it was going to be. You know, I think they both played really well, especially Scream Queens. I think Scream Queens were fantastic, and especially Haley. My one little thing with the matches, though, because of this team tournament coming up and with Anarchy and everything, it didn't really matter. You know, it's at least not going to matter for, you know, a couple months anyway, because this team tournament's going to take up a lot of time. So, and it's not really going to matter that much. But that said, it was still an entertaining match. Just the stakes weren't that high.
Yeah, these team matches, it was kind of moot.
Yeah.
James, are you back with us?
No, still can't hear you.
Maybe unplug the headphones, I don't know. Sorry for anybody who's out there watching.
I'll jump in if since the King of Hearts is having some technical difficulties. It was, you know, I mean, it was an alright match. The commentary team made it fun for me. After the first round, I figured that. Oh, sorry, hold on. Let me turn that music off. After the first round, I kind of was rooting for Scream Queens. I missed their first match that they played, but they were dominating in the first round, and you know, they got me on board, and it was you know, it was they both teams, you know, played well, but you know, they pulled out the victory, and they're 2-0 now, and it's like Boatman said, the con man said, it's going to be interesting because they're 2-0 right now, but they're going to be on pause for a couple months, you know, and one of the ladies are actually going to be in the Anarchy tournament, the one that was knocking out a lot of the questions, so that's going to be interesting to see where they go from there. That's my 2 cents. Mr. C-Dub.
Yeah. Try it now, James?
Hello, check. Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can hear that.
Okay, finally, there we go. Jeez Louise. All right, so yeah, like I said, or like I was about to say, the Scream Queens definitely showed a lot with this one. But yeah, as far as the third round goes, I think the only when it came to like only stupid answers questions, like when it came to Call Me by Your Name, I knew it was one of the 2 actors, and the only one I had in my head was Armie Hammer, and I knew that wasn't the right one. So I couldn't remember the other guy's name. So kudos to the other guy, or whatever his name was, for at least trying. And then as far as Julia Roberts goes, I've never cared for Julia Roberts, really. I mean, Pretty Woman's an okay movie, you know. I had guessed Erin Brockovich, which I knew probably wasn't right. I'd completely forgotten she was in Steel Magnolias, like I said, because I've never really gravitated towards her. So, but yeah, well done by the Scream Queens. They really knocked everything out. And like you said, it'll be interesting to see where they go once Anarchy is out of the way.
Yeah, I think Steel Magnolia is much like The Hours. It's kind of a forgotten film.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't say the film
that a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the film necessarily is forgotten. I think it's because there's so much star power in that movie. I feel like some get lost in the shuffle more than others in terms of performers and performances. So,
yeah. You know, yeah, I think those Oscar questions are kind of hard. I'm a big Oscars guy, so I know a lot of those, but I totally get, you know, not knowing something like Nicole Kidman in The Hours or Julia Roberts in Steel Magnolias.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, I think we can bounce on to Friday's match. You know, we had The Shire Wolves, my favorite team, part of the Fife Club, taking on World's Finest, Eric Zipper and Winston Marshall versus Rachel and Clark. And, I mean, the Wolves, they came out guns blazing. Rachel got 7 out of 8. The only question she got wrong was, didn't remember that Vincent D'Onofrio played Edgar the Bug in Men in Black. Clark, the only question she got wrong was, Harry Tasker's fake profession and True Lies. I mean, they both got 7. Eric had a pretty solid first round, getting 6 out of 8. And Winston, he struggled. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like, I struggled with these questions as well. I only got 4 out of the 8 right. But the Shire Wolves, they were up 14-10. Caleb, I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts coming into the match in the first round?
Yeah, coming in, I think Shire Wolves are one of the best teams out there. I think they're just a fantastic team. So I had no doubt they were going to win. I think it was absolutely that they were going to just completely destroy World's Finest, and not to take anything away from World's Finest, who are a solid team. But when you're going up against the Shire Wolves, unless you are Patriots, top 10, above the line, you don't have a chance. I think those are the only 3 teams that maybe would have a chance against Shire Wolves. And that's why, frankly, I'm a little disappointed that Above the Line aren't a team anymore, because I would have loved to see Shire Wolves go up against Above the Line, and whoever won, it would have been close. Yeah, going into that first round, it was about what I expected. Both Clark and Rachel played supremely well. Zip, I think, is an underrated player. I think he does a solid amount of work, and I think Winston is kind of the weak link in World's Finest. Not to say that he's bad, but compared to Zipper, he doesn't quite match up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not to take anything away from Winston, but Zipper has already proven himself in the league.
Yeah, not in singles yet, but I think if he wanted to try out in singles, he could go pretty far.
Yeah, absolutely. James?
Yeah, I mean, all credit to World's Finest. I mean, they gel solidly as a team. You can tell they enjoy, hanging out together, doing all this stuff. They obviously know movies in general. I mean, Winston probably has more specialized knowledge in like certain categories than Zip does. I think Zipper is much more, well-rounded competitor, just from what I've seen in the last few matches. But it's the Shire Wolves, and I'm sorry. That's like Lady Gaga wearing her meat dress going into a bear pen at the zoo. You're gonna get mauled. I'm sorry. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's arguably the two greatest female competitors in the league.
Oh, I don't even think it's arguably. I think they are.
Right. And honestly, I wouldn't even qualify it with the female thing. I would just say they are 2 of the best competitors.
Oh, yeah. I second that completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so they were up 14-10 after the first round. They elected to go first. They spun Oscar movies, and they did very well. I forgot in my notes to write down their points and how many they got correct, but I know I believe they got 5 out of their 6 questions correct. Gaff on my part. Sorry, everybody.
All right, no problem.
It's all right.
Yeah, I believe they got 5 out of the 6 questions correct. I know the first question they got wrong was what was Tommy Lee Jones's first Oscar nomination? They guessed Coal Miner's Daughter. World's Finest missed on a steal. They guessed The Fugitive, which is what I would have guessed as well. The answer was JFK. But they got a 1-point steal from World's Finest. World's Finest, they spun comic book movies, and they did very well. 5 out of 6 for 8 points. But they're especially Zipper is known primarily as a comic book movie fan. How he didn't know the Lucky Deck was what Jack Palance's character told Jack Nicholson to bring with him his lucky deck in '89 Batman. That was completely shocking to me. But Clark, she was able to get that steal, and then World's Finest, they got a steal, won the 5 Oscars for The Silence of the Lambs off Shire Wolves, but the Shire Wolves were up 23-19 after the second round. James, what were your thoughts on all of that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, granted, I haven't seen the '89 Batman in a long time, but even I knew about the lucky deck of cards. So I mean, somebody who studies comic book movies and is as avid of an inner geekdom player as Zippity Doodah is. Sorry, I just love that nickname. That's a good one. The only other one I probably would have given him is XYZ Examine Your Zipper. Anyhow, but that's just my childish nature of things. But I got to stop making jokes. The fact is that, you know, the Shire Wolves, yeah, they did very well in Oscars, and you knew they were going to, because that's how deep into their film knowledge that Rachel and Clark go. They know everything about a lot. And I won't say they know everything about every category, but they know the ones that they really know, they really, really know. And Oscars is one of the more difficult ones. It's more difficult categories to know everything about. Granted, like you said, the Silence of the Lambs thing, it was a little interesting that they didn't know that one, especially after watching the Ben Bateman match with Scott Mance a couple of weeks ago, because I know that came up as one of the ones that won the Big Five, so I was kind of surprised about that. But yeah, like overall, like even with all of that said, going into the third round, Shire Wolves were in the lead. Closer game than I would have thought, but it was a solid round by both groups.
Yeah. I want to correct myself real quick. The Shire Wolves won 4 out of 6 for 8 points.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, by the end of the second round, they were at 23-19.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think both teams did very well in that second round. I think, yeah, Shire Wolves were great. I think, you know, I guessed that JFK won, but I wasn't entirely sure, so I get missing that one. As far as the Silence of the Lambs question goes, I think there's a defense there, because obviously we know they won the Big Five, but there's a chance that the movie could have won more Oscars outside of the Big Five, like maybe for original score. And I believe they guessed 6 for their multiple choice, so maybe they thought maybe it won another Oscar outside of that. So, you know, I can completely understand guessing that. But yeah, I completely agree with Lucky Deck of Cards. How do you not know that one, especially if you're an inner geekdom person? Because
even on multiple choice.
Oh yeah, even on multiple choice. Because like I thought, oh, it's his lucky deck of cards, and then by the fact that Zipper had to go multiple choice, I was like, is it not that simple? Is it something else? Am I forgetting something based on the fact that somebody is good as Zipper? But I guess he just, you know, kind of couldn't remember. Maybe he hadn't seen Batman in a while. I don't know.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt, but he did go to multiple choice. They just didn't pull it, and Clark was able.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm assuming most of us here, I knew the answer without multiple choice, and I was shocked that he didn't.
Yeah, we know every answer. Okay, yeah, all right, enough of that. But anyway, I mean, they went to multiple choice, and he got it wrong, but Clark jumped right in. You know, she knew it, man, and it was impressive. That was impressive stealing.
Yeah.
Back to you, Steve.
All right, so yeah, going into that third round, Wolves were up 23-19. They go with their numbers 4-12 and 19. World's Finest goes with 6-10 and 13. World's Finest 2-pointer, Winston takes it. Category was rom-coms, and here's where I got kind of disappointed. Now, because I don't really like this film, but the first question was, who directed 2011's Bridesmaids? And Winston guessed Judd Apatow. Like, Winston, I'm sure you're a nice guy, but how do you not know Paul Feig directed that thing? Like, I don't like the movie, and I know that answer. And then you go on to their 3-pointer was comic book movies, Zipper's bread and butter, and the question was, in what film will you find the quote, "You know, in the future, if you're going to steal cars, don't dress like a car thief"? How do you not know that's Amazing Spider-Man? That scene. That's one of the standout scenes from that movie. I mean, he guessed Kick-Ass, but I was completely shocked that Zipper didn't get that. And then on their 5-pointer, now I'll give them credit for this. This was a tough question. I love the movie Argo. The category was dramas. In Argo, at what nation's embassy do the 6 escaped hostages hide out at? And I'll give them, he guessed the English embassy. The answer was wrong. It was Canada. And Shire Wolves, they get the 23-19 victory via TKO. Caleb, I'll go to you first on your thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shire Wolves were pretty much guaranteed to win this, barring, some opponent's choice or something like that. So I wasn't surprised. But as far as those round 3 questions go, I guess I can kind of understand the bridesmaids missing that one because Paul Feig and Judd Apatow are so similar, with the actors they work with. Because they both started on Freaks and Geeks, if memory serves. So they work together a lot. But, but the Amazing Spider-Man question, that's the one I have a problem with. Because when you're a comic book guy like Eric Zipper, how do you not know? Like as you said, C-Dub, that's one of the standout scenes in the movie, and I think best scenes in the movie. So I think, that was surprising. But I get not getting that Argo question. That was a worthy 5-pointer question. So, but overall, yeah, it was a great match.
Yeah, I mean, I love Argo. Ben Affleck hasn't directed a ton of films, but that's one of my. It's up there. He's only directed 4 films, I believe, but yeah, I love that movie, and I don't know if I would have guessed that answer either. James,
what did I say on this program last week? I called it Shire Wolves TKO, and I said it was going to be by one of 2 means. Either they were going to have so much of a lead that they couldn't. That World's Finest wouldn't be able to catch up because they were going to goof on one, or it was going to be a close match, but World's Finest just slipped up, and that's exactly what happened here. Now, granted, I was confused at first on the Spider-Man question. I knew the quote. I knew it was from Spider-Man. I had started to think, was that Spider-Man Homecoming when the guy was breaking into the car? But then I said, no, I corrected myself. It was The Amazing Spider-Man. As far as the first question goes, which was, refresh my memory again, because Bridesmaids. I knew it was Paul Feig because I knew it was the same asshole who fucked up Ghostbusters. But as far as Argo goes, I've never seen Argo. I will fully admit that I have not seen it. I wouldn't have guessed Canadian Embassy in a million years. I wouldn't have. So all deference to them. That was a solid 5-point question. Kudos for making at least an attempt at it rather than just throwing in the towel. But yeah, overall, Shire Wolves with the win. They move on to, the title match now. So that's going to be entertaining to watch, especially with what we got in the post interviews. But let's not bury the lead.
Yeah, let's get to the post match now. We have Brand Chandler interviewing.
Haven wants to say something.
Oh, go ahead, Haven.
Yeah, it kind of sucked because they mentioned that in the interview. Zipper and his what's his teammate's last name again?
Winston Marshall.
Yeah, Winston Marshall.
Yeah. They said in the post interview that they both knew each other's questions. For the 2 and the 3-point. I knew the Spider-Man one because that was Andrew Garfield. When he was in that. That was the first robber he went up against in the movie. He was talking his trash and he was hitting him with the spider webs. The Paul Feig, I drew a blank on. He's not one of the guys. I know he directed a bunch of stuff because I think he's married to one of those ladies. But other than that,
Judd Apatow is married to Leslie Mann, who he cast in all of her films, like Knocked Up. She played Katherine Heigl's sister in Knocked Up. He's married to her, but Judd Apatow, I don't believe, is married to any of the actresses in this film.
No, Paul Feig is the correct answer. Right?
Yeah, you said that Judd Apatow is married to Leslie Mann. Paul Feig is not married to anybody in in that group.
I'll fact check that to see if.
Oh, I thought it was because he's always casting the he's always
Melissa
casting
McCarthy or Kristen
Well,
Wiig or anything like
he
that.
likes working with the same actresses, like he likes working with Melissa McCarthy, and then who's the other actress? I always forget
Kristen
her
Wiig?
name. Kristen Wiig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not married to anybody like that. He's married to somebody named Lori Karen, who I've never heard of. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I was mistaken, but it's just a luck of the draw. You know, the one guy, Zipper knew Marshall's answer. Marshall knew Zipper's answer. Then the 5-pointer was the 5-point question was a really solid 5-pointer. It had me stumped for a little bit. I've seen Argo one time, and it's not one of my most favorite based on a true story, like military stuff. Like, I don't know. I couldn't think of it. Once they said Canada, I was like, oh, okay, that kind of rang a bell. But it just shows, man, the Shire Wolves are just a dominating team, man. And it's going to be interesting. And I think next week or 2 weeks from now when they go for that title match.
Yeah, let's get into this post-match stuff. Like I said, Brienne was doing the interviews, and Emma's I know it's rubbing some people the wrong way, but Emma's getting pretty confident in her team, and she has every right to be. And yeah, like the Shirewolf said, they would have loved to face Above the Line, but unfortunately, Sam Levine retired, so they forfeited the belts. They didn't know who they were going to be facing for the championship, but then Brienne drops this bomb, a little smoke comes out, and she challenges them. And she's got a mystery partner. We don't know who it is. I mean, who do you guys speculate could be her partner? Me personally, I mean, she said she wants a lady with a belt. I think that Brienne's going to pick a female partner. And could it be the person who me and Haven interviewed Thursday night, Mark Knopik? We don't know. But it could be.
It's going to be Mike Kalinowski in a wig.
I don't know. I really don't think it's going to be him. I think that's too spot on the nose. I think it's going to be somebody, even if it's not Mara, it's going to be somebody that we're not expecting. I don't think it's Kalinowski. Honestly, I don't.
Nah, I don't think so. Because I mean, why would then Kalinowski go through that whole rigmarole that he did after the fact, standing next to Thad for the team tournament matchups and everything, wondering who his partner is going to be? He already knew this was going to happen. I mean, if he was that confident that he was going to have the team titles, why would he even put himself through all that? Why would his name have even been in that hat in the first place? So, I don't see that happening. As far as who Brienne could pick, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of potential out there in the league. I mean, maybe she picks Rosie Knight, whatever her name is. But there could be any number of people she could pick. Who knows? I'm not going to speculate because again, it's too soon to tell. But whoever it is, I guarantee it'll have a fairly solid impact on that title, not just that title match, but the Schmoedown going forward, because we know Brienne knows her movies. I mean, she has the name Miss Movies for a reason. So, one way or the other, it's going to be impactful, regardless.
The one thing before Conman says something, if you don't mind, she did say she wants a woman with the title, but she didn't necessarily say she wants women. So she might pick a man, because
it could very well be a guy.
Yeah, you got to read between the lines. So she didn't say all women. She says a woman should hold a title because as of right now, the only woman that has a title she's the only one. She has a title because of free for all title that she made. She said that. So who knows? She could pick a guy. She could pick a female. I mean, she might even team up again with Stacey Howard. Maybe Janine. There's a lot of different possibilities. So it's exciting. It's really exciting right now. You're a Schmoedown fan. This is what this is what you love right here.
I think the biggest thing is she's gonna pick somebody who's got to be a established dominant player in the league, because that's what it's gonna take to beat Rachel and Clark. You need somebody who can match them. Yeah,
I think as far as I don't think she's gonna pick Kalinowski, because if you watch the Anarchy team announcements Thad specifically asked Kalinowski, "Are you Brienne's partner?" And they wouldn't even have that bring that up if that's what was going to happen, probably, because they wouldn't want to even give us a hint of that. I think they'd only ask that to try to throw us off. And as far as who are they going to pick, I think Mara Knapik is a choice that she could be it. I think that's a good potential one. I think we could look to some of the, established people, and maybe could be somebody like an Ethan Irwin or a Bibiani, somebody like that, as far as that. And I think I agree with you when you say that she's got to pick somebody established and dominant to really have a chance against the Shirewolves. Because I think on her own, she's a great player. And honestly, I'm a little upset she didn't use her title for a singles shot. Because honestly, I think there's a chance she could have taken that and she could have been the new singles champion. But that's not what she's wanting to do. So you never know what's going to happen. I think Haven's right, and there's a chance that she could be teaming up with Stacey Howard. So you never know. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
I like Stacey Howard quite a bit. I just don't know if her and Brienne are enough to beat the Shirewolves. I don't want to hark back too much, but we've seen what Rachel did to Stacey last year at the tournament.
Yeah. And, something I just remembered, it wouldn't be Stacey Howard because they've already got her scheduled for the live event. If her and Brienne won, then they wouldn't have already put her on the thing for the live event. So it can't be Stacey Howard.
Yeah.
And it also won't be Dan Murrell probably, and it won't be John Roca.
No, we can pretty much guarantee that. And just something I'd point out is the actual date that they announced in the video. I think it said August 14th, but that's actually been moved according to one of Christian's posts. The team title match will be August the 21st, so it'll be the week after. On the 14th now, it's Irwin versus Andraco in the #1 contenders match. So that's just something to point out.
Oh, nice. Hey, can we talk about?
I noticed that, but I'm thinking maybe they just changed it, but haven't updated that yet.
It's possible. That's the thing is this was as a Patreon match, so it went up like a week ahead of time from this. So they could have decided on the 14th and then rescheduled after the fact. So
yeah.
Can we talk about Emma standing on a crate during the post-match interview? Because there's no way in hell she's called is Rachel Cushing. Like, Emma, get out of here with that crap.
And the villain has come out.
Yeah, Rachel. Emma is short. We know this.
She's not short. She's
and
fun
also,
size.
And also, I want to mention something that happened before that. Winston, he challenged Jay Washington to a Black Movies match. This has me really excited because I'm actually a big fan of these kinds of movies. Yeah, I'm white, but I don't care. I love African American films. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
It'd be entertaining to say nothing else.
Hey, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, James.
No, I was gonna say it'd be. When you think about all those kind of films that you could throw in there, stuff like Shaft or Undercover Brother. That's more of a spoof or anything like that. But you got like Black Draft, and you've got that new Spike Lee movie coming out, Black Klansman. So that there could be any number of fun, interesting, obscure movies brought up in that match. So I'd be entertained by it one way or the other. I don't know if I'll do it, but it'd be entertaining.
Wow.
Jay Washington posted on the Facebook, on Twitter. He said he's down. I think it's really cool, because you never seen these guys match up before. And it's cool to have a brother in the Schmoedown calling out another brother, just say, hey, let's put it on the table. And I think it's exciting, man. It's another reason to join the Patreon, It looks fun.
Yeah, and James, I don't necessarily think it'll be limited to like spoof movies. Like, we could get questions for movies like The Wood, The Best Man, The Best Man sequel, Boys in the Hood,
Malcolm X.
Friday.
Yeah, I would say those are the ones that come to my mind when I think of that sort of category. But you're right. There are. Again, that's just because I'm more associated with the comedies or the spoof end of things with that. But you're right. There's stuff like Malcolm X. There's stuff like Ali, Ray. There's so many other. Yeah,
a lot of the 70s. A lot of the 70s black exploitation films.
A 90s spoof movie that I did love was Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Like, I love that movie.
I've never heard of
seen that, but that title I've seen, and it just based on the title,
I've seen that movie.
It's the Wayans brothers. It stars Marlon.
The Wayans. That makes sense.
Keenan directed it.
It's funny.
It was an awesome movie. I loved it.
To pull the curtain back a little bit, I grew up in the hood, and when I was in high school, me and this girl, we were in the mall. We came out of one of the stores, and it had the ding dong, and we both said the line from "Don't Be a Menace." I'm not
yeah. I remember that part. And then there's a part in the movie, guys, where Sean and Marlon, they walk in, and it says, a certain term I won't say, and then a white guy comes in, and then he robs the place, and he opens up the cash register. He takes some money out, and then the cashier, it's a Chinese guy. He's like, "Hey, you forgot this," and hands him more money. Like it was an awesome movie. It had me rolling. You had a woman in the movie her character name was Dashiki, where she has like 1 million kids. She gets pregnant all the time.
I don't know if this has already been said, but another great spoof movie done by the Wayans that would be eligible is "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker," which is a great movie.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah,
or scary movies.
Yeah, I don't know if you necessarily count those, but yeah, that's fair. Because when I hear black movies, I feel like starring roles, it's majority of the cast is either black or at least the predominant players are. Whereas with most of the scary movies, you got Anna Faris as part of the focus. So
yeah, I don't think scary.
It's going to be more than spoof movies. I mean, there's been a lot of great African American movies that are just not spoof movies. Like
right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In there.
Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, a lot of Tyler.
Do the Right Thing. I love that film.
Like, that's Impetus you could throw in there. So yeah, like I said, we're just spitballing here for ridiculous reasons.
Would Jackie Brown count?
It could. I think it could.
I mean, it's a great movie regardless, and it was definitely inspired by the blaxploitation movies of the 70s, so yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, folks, I know we're not talking about Schmoedown exactly, but we love
little sidetrack.
Oh, please. How many times on Collider Movie Talk or any of the others have the conversation's gone completely off the rails and it's taken like 10 minutes to get back to the topic at hand?
Yeah.
Now, I want to speak on something else. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there are people out there who believe the Shire Wolves were given the easy path to the belt. I fall under this assumption. Yeah, they beat Dagnino and Natsok in their first match. But Action and World's Finest are two solid teams, especially Action. And let's keep in mind to the people out there, the Patriots' first match was against the Mega Powers. That was a cakewalk. So
yeah,
and people are just taking their shots at them. And I've seen on Twitter, Rachel made a post that had it really sucked. That she talks about becoming what's the term she used where she hides away from the world, a recluse, and it's not fair to them. They play who they play, and they're winning their matches. So try to be more understanding, all you people out there. If you want to down talk to the Shire Wolves, they have earned their right to the championship.
They're fucking haters, and that's all it is. They're a bunch of whiny bitches behind their fucking keyboards, want to talk shit. Right now, there's not a lot of teams, Ever since the Lions Den, the Patriots lost the titles. What team could have they played? They play the teams that are available to play. They step up, they beat ass, they kick ass, and take names. So anybody out there bitching, like, you know what? Keep your comments to yourselves. Just enjoy the content. That's what I tell everybody. Enjoy the content. Leave the negativity outside. If you have nothing good to say, then shut your fucking mouth. I'm sick of people talking shit about.
And to Rachel and Clark, if you see this, you are both amazing, not just competitors, but people, and keep doing your thing. The true fans will always stand behind you.
A fucking man. And I mean, no disrespect to that, but really, you're asking the internet in 2018 to be compassionate and understanding. Good freaking luck. But no, the fact of the matter is that a lot of the guys who we see doing this, and I'm assuming it's guys, it's because they can't stand the fact that two women are in contention for a prestigious championship in the movie trivia Schmoedown. It's those same brain-dead idiots who complain about The Last Jedi being an anti-man film or any of this. It's like pushing a feminist agenda. Just shut the hell up. Just knock it off with your freaking backwards ass thinking. Tell you what, hop in a DeLorean, travel back to 2018 from 1955, which is the exact level of thinking your brain is stuck in, you pig-headed idiots.
Yeah, you know, I think I don't kind of echo what you said. There's not like another great team that they could really face, and even then, they'd still win. You could make the argument top 10. They would crush top 10. I'm sorry. Matt Nost is a good player, but he would be destroyed, and John Roca would come out okay. But no matter what, Shirewolves were going to make it to the championship. If you put 10 Sam Levines against them, I think Shirewolves, they're one of the best teams right now, and I think they're going to look for any excuse to keep Rachel Cushing and Clark Wolf down, these haters are. You know, like when she won the match against Kalinowski, oh, she got horror again. You know what? Most people aren't good with horror. So, you know, people are going to find a way to criticize them no matter what, and you just got to send the positivity out there to them. So, Rachel Cushing, Clark Wolf, if you're watching, you guys are amazing players, amazing people. Keep up. Don't let the haters bring you down.
Absolutely.
Well said, everybody. Alrighty, so yeah, I think that about covers that, and we can move on to this Anarchy Team Tournament drawing. We had Thad, we had Kalinowski showing up almost late. He didn't get a call, but we get the teams now. I'm going to say at the beginning of this, personally, for me, I believe this drawing should have been put off until we knew the outcome of the team championship match, because we have several people in here who we don't know if they're actually going to stay with their partner. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if you guys agree with that. I believe they should have held it off until after the team title. But nonetheless,
I'll slightly disagree with you on that one, Cito, only because I feel like it adds a little bit more drama to it. Like, you don't know if the teams that are selected with those individuals will stay together, and if so, they'll probably do another drawing to mix up those teams. Like, because we've got Rachel and Clark both paired with 2 other people. If they could just as easily just pair those 2 individuals who, lose Clark and Rachel as teammates. If Clark and Rachel win the titles, they can just pair those 2 together. So it doesn't create as big of a problem. But you're right. It would have been interesting to see them wait. I feel like it adds a little bit more intrigue to the actual proceedings to do it this way. That's just me.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off of that, I think, they needed that to kind of add so you knew who was playing at the live event. They needed to announce the teams because we'd be going – they waited until the championship. Yeah, the live event would be in like a couple weeks away or whatever, and nobody would have bought as many tickets. I mean, still people would have bought tickets, but I think knowing that it's the Horsemen, seeing them play, I think that brings in some trust, because then you know what you're getting. So I think,
I don't know. I kind of agree with Christopher, because it's kind of weird, because if the Shirewolves win the titles, that means there's going to be 2 teams that are going to be eliminated from this tournament, unless.
Well, I don't think it necessarily means eliminated. It just means they got to find new partners for the people, which was like. Yeah, but I mean, I assume Christian has a plan for this, but that's why I say they should have just waited until after the championship match and then did this drawing, so there's none of this. If this team wins, if the Shirewolves win, then they're not paired with these people. Like, I mean,
right. But you also got to figure this tournament doesn't start until what? September the 8th, which is
September 8th.
They can, with what they're doing now, they've given themselves enough time, especially with those 2 big matches, the number 1 contenders match and the team title match. happening later in August, I agree with Caleb. They wouldn't have had nearly as much time to get everything scheduled and put together. I mean, they needed to have as much promotional material ready for that live event as possible going on right now. And plus, doing it this way, at least now you know which teams you need to keep an eye on, and then you can schedule those teams to compete later when you do have to reshuffle everything.
No, I was just saying that. Let's say the Shire Wolves win. That means both of them are going to be out of this Anarchy tournament, and that means they're going to have to find 2 other players to come in for those teams. If they can't find a player, that means we're going to be missing a team out of 16. You know, if let's say Rachel Christian wins, they need to find another player for the 8th team that they announced, and Clark Wolf for the 16th team that they announced, the last team. So unless they got
you slide
reserves,
in, you slide
unless
in
they got
either,
reserves, Brianne Chandler's in the title match too. So unless they got 3 or 4 people in reserves that we don't know about.
And then also, Brienne's team partner very well could be already in this thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it depends.
Well, let's just say
and I'm sure they're not going to have a problem finding players to replace them. It's just the fact of why not just wait? So then you don't have to worry about finding somebody else.
Like I said, I understand where you're coming from. Again, I think of it more not just from a competitor or a scheduling standpoint. I think of it from a marketing standpoint, because you've got that live event. Granted, you've been advertising this for how long now? You've got your winner of the Intergeeking tournament going up against Jason, and then you had Dan Murrell, the return of Dan Murrell and his partner going up against whoever to start this tournament. You needed to get that promotional material out. You can't just have a poster up there with actually 3 blank names on a poster, not knowing who's going to go in. Like Caleb said, in order to start that hype and actually build that marketing, you had to get something on those posters.
Well, I don't know, because, I mean, if this was the first live event, I could understand that, but they've already done 2, and they sold out both times. Like you said, you had them in playing somebody. They already knew they got Merle. I think that there alone is enough to sell this 3rd event out, in my opinion.
I would say could have been yes or no.
You don't know who the people are going to be facing.
I'll argue that you're potentially right, but again, there's a debate to be made. We're getting off track. Let's move into the actual teams themselves.
All right, so the first team that was selected, we got Matt Nose and the Beast William Bibiani, being managed by Emma Fife, which harkens back. I won't spend too much time, but say this team ends up going to the finals, and Emma Fife is their manager, and they're facing, assuming the Shire Wolves win the championship, who's Emma Fife managing?
That is a fair question. I feel like if the Shire Wolves do win, I feel like Emma might pull out as a manager for this, just because it would technically be a conflict of interest for her. But again, that could be that's a storyline that they can.
I hope that's what they do.
Right. But I've already started trying to think of like random ass team names for these guys, so I'm just gonna refer to Nost and Bibbs as the Mighty Beasts. So this will be an interesting one, I think. Like we said, Matt Nost is a solid competitor. I'm not going to say he's like one of the upper echelon, like a Drew McWeeny or, a Sam Levine or a Dan Murrell, but he's a solid, I'd say, C+ to B- player, and that's saying nothing negative about Matt Nost. I love the guy. Him and Roker are phenomenally entertaining on the Top 10 show. But Bibiani, we know, is the heavy hitter when it comes to that team. So it'll be interesting to watch and see if they have. I mean, they've obviously had some form of chemistry together. They're both Bibbs is a former horseman, as we know, so that could play an interesting part in their dynamics. So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, as far as this team goes, I think this is the dark horse to watch out for, because I think people are kind of sleeping on this one a little bit. As far as maybe not sleeping on it, but a lot of the attention is going to some of the other teams. And I think this is, maybe I sound crazy, but I think this is a potential championship team, because I think when Nost is paired up with somebody good, I think sometimes he can kind of Makuga and just get out those great answers and all that. As far as a name goes, a Pizza Bib, I think that'd be a good Pizza Bib. That'd be a good name. But yeah, I think this is a team that maybe might lose some of the pulls, but might win out of nowhere. You never know. So I think as far as when you're making your brackets, watch out for this team.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I like this team. Bibbs obviously is he's going for the belt soon. Matt knows he's a former team champ. I like this team quite a bit. I like three, maybe four teams a little better than this one, but they could find themselves in the championship, no doubt. Now this next team, you got Mark Riley returning, and he's being paired up with the guy who stole his dog, Ben Bateman, and then they're being managed by the blithering idiot Tom Dagnino. I mean, now Mark Riley, obviously he's a former champion, but he's been out for a while. He played in the free-for-all. He didn't do that well. I don't know what to make of him. He's going to have to shake the dust off. But Bateman is a strong player. I mean, Caleb, what are your thoughts on this pairing?
Yeah, from a storyline aspect, this is my favorite pairing because I think this is just going to get the most entertainment, most comedy out of this pairing. So I hope they can stay around for so long. I think as far as skill goes, I think these guys are going to go maybe round 2, round 3, but I don't think these guys are going to make it to the championship. I think, Riley's kind of past his prime as we saw in the free-for-all. He didn't do too well. He could change that, but I think he's probably not. As far as Ben Bateman, he's a solid player. Neither of these players right now are like Titans. Riley obviously being a Titan of the past and a legend at this point, but right now I don't expect this team to go super far, but I think it's just going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah. James?
This team has the term clusterfuck written all over it, just from a backstage drama standpoint. And I was watching this, and you'll see it in my reaction. When I see him get paired up with Bateman, you could feel my heart sink. And then when they announced Dagnino as his manager, I literally said to myself, man, the hits just keep on coming. Like, damn it. Now, granted, like I said, they're both solid players, but I think the animosity and the mistrust and everything like that, and especially Dagnino being the dipshit he is, and that's a good nickname, Dipshit Dagnino. Make that a T-shirt. But yeah, like there's no way they're going past, I'd say, even the second round, because the whole time Riley's going to be resisting the urge to choke Ben Bateman like Homer Simpson choking Bart. It's just it's going to be a complete implosion and an absolute dumpster fire, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. All right, so next up we got Devon Stewart from the Kingsmen being teamed up with potential champion, we don't know yet, this movie's Breanne Chandler, and their manager would be Markia McCarty. Now, I'm indifferent to this pairing. It's really odd for me, and it might not even end up happening because, like I said, Breanne, she's in that team match. I don't know what to make of this team, but yeah, James.
Yeah, it's definitely an odd pairing. I like Devon. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. I've been following him since he used to do the Flash After Show over at the Stream.tv. So I'm a big fan of his. He's very entertaining. He's a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple different wrinkles to this. If Breanne and her teammate are successful in the title match, he's kind of out. Unless Markia would then step in to become his partner, we don't know. But I mean, because that's always an easy thing to think about with these is like the manager could just as easily step in to become a competitor if any of these teams are broken up. So that's something to keep. Or any of the other managers could be recruited to join in. I mean, we could see Robert Meyer Burnett join up with Drew McWeeny. If Clark, if the Shirewolves went out, so there's wiggle room to be had. But yeah, as far as the pairing goes, it doesn't excite me right off the get-go. I think it'll depend on their first match. If it gets to that, again, Brienne and her partner could take the team titles and becomes a moot point. So I'm going to wait and see on this one.
Yeah, I think if this team succeeds, it's going to be solely because of Brienne Chandler. I think Devin, he's an okay player. I think both Kingsmen are okay, and they can come together to be okay together. But yeah, I think whatever happens that happens good. I think it's going to be solely because of how good Brienne is. But yeah, I don't think this pairing's going to go too far unless Brienne can just pull it off.
Yeah. Now, next up, we got one of my three teams who I think are one of the three best teams coming out of this thing. We got former Reactor, we know her, we love her, Janine the Machine, and Ethan Irwin, the two people right now who are clear-cut. I mean, he's number one as far as Rookie of the Year goes, but Janine is not far behind. And then manager Jay Washington. I think they will end up in the finals, honestly. I think they complement each other really well because we know Ethan Irwin has been pretty dominant so far, but we don't know what he can do in rom-coms, and we know that's a major strength for Janine. Caleb, what do you make of this team?
Yeah, I think this is a team that hasn't gotten a ton of attention, and they deserve to. This is another dark horse team that could take it all the way. Yeah, I think both Ethan Irwin, a fantastic player. I think he's got a good chance of getting the championship. Janine is a player who, if you saw some of my first episodes on the show, I thought she was just okay. After that triple threat, I kind of flipped the switch and was like, yeah, she's a great player, so I'm really excited for this. As far as her name, Ethan's nickname is Big Time Irwin, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Time Machine should be the name of this team. The Time Machine.
Or Big Time Machine. I like it.
Or Big Time Machine, something like that.
Yeah, there's any number of different ways they could go with that. Yeah, this is definitely one of the teams I think is flying under the radar right now. I'm not going to use the term dark horse just because I don't want to offend either Jay or Janine. Yeah, I'm not commenting on skin color if I say that.
I wasn't saying that.
I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but as far as talent goes, yes, Janine has shown she is very capable. She's 2-1 right now, I believe, after the triple threat at the collision. And then Ethan's obviously 2-3-0, something like that.
3-0.
3-0. That's what I thought. So yeah, these two definitely have some of the best records out of debut, or if not the best records out of players that have just debuted this year in the singles league. So I'm trying to look up some information here because I want to see what the schedule looks like. Because right now there are 3 individuals, singles players in this tournament who potentially could be holding the singles championship by the time this tournament starts, because the singles title match with whoever wins between Andraco and Irwin going up against Viviani is August 31st. So any of those 3 could be the singles champ by the time this goes down. Could you imagine what it would be like for Ethan Irwin to walk into this tournament as the singles champion, and then by the end of it, potentially end up with both the singles and the team belts by the time the spectacular is over, if they manage to get that far? How nuts would that be for a rookie player?
Well, I predicted about 2 months ago that Ethan would have the singles belt by the end of the year.
And it's absolutely possible.
This team looks like it's going to get bounced in the first round. They're going on the radar. I mean, more eyes will probably be on them.
They're going to lose in their first match, Haven?
Hey, you've talked enough. All right, it's my turn. All right, I'm saying something here. Like these competitors, they're good. They're rookies. They haven't played anybody that's been dominating before. Maybe if
Drew McWeeny was a team champion.
Jesus Christ, dude. All right. If you're gonna talk over me, I guess I have nothing to say.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off, but he did beat Drew McWeeny. Go ahead. Come on,
Haven.
Speak your piece, Haven.
Let's be adults about this.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Maybe if they come on Schmoedown All Access, maybe more people have their eyes on these two sleepers. I don't know. They both they're kind of relatively unknown. You know, we only get posts and pre-interviews, so you know we really haven't dove into their psyches like that. I know the Machine. You know, she does her videos on the Schmoedown, but she needs to come on All Access and give a nice lengthy interview so people could know could really get to know her and root for her more. Because if they come on All Access, I think a lot of people will have them as number one. But since they haven't been here yet, they're getting overlooked.
Yeah, I do want to say that there's no way they're losing in the first round because Christian Harloff posted what the round one matchups are going to be, and they're playing against Duralde and Atchity, and I think that's going to be a cakewalk for them. I think Irwin and the Machine are definitely going to take that one.
I won't say it'll be a cakewalk because Alonzo is good. If you followed what he did in that first free-for-all event, Alonzo knows his stuff. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be a cakewalk. I think it'll be a competitive match, but I do believe that they will come out on top in that situation.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, good player.
Yeah, Atchity's good. I just think that these two are bad, but, you know, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, all right, so let's move on to the next team. And this is where the big shocker happens. Now, Haven had messaged me asking me, did I see this? But I was still at the tail end of the Shire Wolves and World's Finest match. I'm like, what is he talking about? Did I see this? And then it happens. Mike Kalinowski, who's in charge of this whole anarchy thing, is paired up with arguably the best player this online trivia leagues has ever seen. He was formerly the Titan. Now he's the Cobra. The one and only Chance Ellison. I mean, this blew my freaking mind. I was in complete shock over this, but Chance deserves this, and now it makes all the sense in the world why he relinquished the belts in the online leagues.
Yep.
Chance, man, I'm so happy for you. You are going to show the world what you can do. James, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, again, cheap plug for the channel. We have our Inner Geekdom qualifier matches now for King of the Mountain. The whole reason any of that is going on is because Chance had to relinquish the belt. And then at first I was like, oh, well, that sucks. He must have some personal stuff going on or whatever. And then I see this and I'm like, oh, so that's it. Okay. But no, good for him. Like I've watched a lot of his matches here at Jack of All Trivia. The guy knows his stuff. And honestly, I think he could be one of the first guys in the first competitor in that league to hold the singles, the teams, and the IG title. So let's see how that pans out. But yeah, Chance, never really spoken with you. I mean, we've texted back and forth via Facebook Messenger. Haven't spoken to you face to face, but yeah, break legs, dude. Have fun.
Yeah, Haven.
It was a happy surprise, you know, when that, because if I'm not mistaken, I think there was maybe one other person, but I'm looking at the list right now. But I think Chance is the only newcomer to be in this tournament.
There's one other.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I think
there's one other person.
It was Mark E.
Mark Edward.
Yeah, or however you pronounce it.
Okay. All right, that's the other guy that I'm not really familiar with him, but you know, this was a proud moment for anybody that's been doing this for a year, doing fan leagues, to get to know everybody in the fan leagues, you know, that play, you know, whatever fan league it is, you know, it's I wouldn't wish it for another I wouldn't wish this for wait, what am I trying to say? This is a blessing because Chance is a great human being, like hands down. Like, to be serious, you know, fuck Mike, but anyway, Chance, like that dude, he you know, he talks his trash when he's playing in the match, but I've never seen him say a bad word about somebody. Like that kid is a great human being, and he bleeds trivia. So this was very proud for everybody that knows him personally or just talked to him before or played against him. Like, this guy, he knows his stuff, so it's amazing. You know, the Cobra name, I don't know why that came about. why they had to pick a different nickname for him. But Mike showed that he's not going to be any leading roles anytime soon because his acting was shitty. Like he was like, oh, who's this? Who's this guy? Out of all the people that are announced for this tournament, he picked the best of the best to be his partner. So kudos for Mike to keep stacking his deck. Keep Baja the sheep because he's gonna go all the way riding Chance's coattails in this tournament.
Ooh, there it is.
And also, I'd like to point out, Ken Knapsack will be managing this team.
Yep, so that'll be.
Yeah. So as far as this team goes, I wasn't super familiar with Chance Ellison because I'm just kind of a new face in this fan community. But I saw that Haven had posted in the Jack of All Trivia Facebook group that Chance Ellison was previously a member, a player in these leagues, and I thought, wow, that's super cool. So I went back and watched a couple of his matches, the championship ones. Yeah, he's great. He's fantastic. And honestly, I did not expect to be saying this, but when I knew Kalinowski was going to be in it, but I did not think that Kalinowski, no matter what team he was going to be in, was going to be the weak link. But yeah, Kalinowski's going to be the weak link in this team, which this is a team to watch out for because of that. If Kalinowski's going to just look bad next to Chance Ellison, then
you know what? I got to give props to if I could just say one more thing is that how cool is it that you got 16 teams, so you got 32
competitors,
32 competitors, and Mike Kalinowski, he created this tournament, and look who he's teamed up with. Out of anybody that he could have been matched up with, he picks a rookie, and it just shows you how much time that they discussed this. Him and even it depends on if you want to say like, oh, it was random or whatever, but it is so cool to see Chance Ellison in this big spotlight right now,
Absolutely.
Because he's not teamed up with like, I'm not going to say anybody that's like a lower tier guy, but to see him pretty much like main focus in this tournament right now, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
And what did I say last week here on this show? I said one way or the other, Kalinowski was going to come out with one of the better competitors to pair with, and I was right again.
And it kind of goes with.
Idea it would be a fan online league competitor.
No, I didn't know that, but I mean, damn. Yeah. I mean, welcome to the major leagues, dude.
But yeah, it kind of goes with what Kalinowski's attitude has kind of been this whole time, which is taking down the establishment of the Schmoedown. And the fact that he is partnering with a fan, that really goes with his whole storyline and everything. So I think, that's going to be great.
Yeah, this is another one of my 3 teams that I believe could win this whole thing.
I think there's more than 3, but I think this is one that could win, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so move on to the next team. We got the N. Snyder, Jeff Snyder, and Mark Ann Draco, and Roxy Strider is going to be their manager. Now, I think this is a very solid team. And obviously, Ann Draco, Snyder have had a lot of success. I think that they'll move on quite far. I don't know. Championship, maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see how Snyder can rebound because he hasn't, he's had some bad luck lately, whether it was his match against Bibiani or in the team match. So we'll have to see how he shakes that off. But, Haven, what do you think about this team?
I think this is a solid team. If I'm not mistaken, this was the 6th team that was picked. And you know what? Like a lot of people, they don't like Jeff Snyder because of, he's a villain or he's a heel. But Jeff Snyder knows his shit. And I think after losing the titles, I think he's going to come in hard. And Mark Draco's not a slouch. Like he has an easygoing attitude. He's very relaxed. And maybe that's why people sleep on him because he doesn't really raise his voice. He's a chill dude, but he's very knowledgeable, man. And you know, every year that goes by, like I think he debuted last year, and this is second 2 seasons. Okay, my mistake. 2 seasons. Because he's getting better.
It was either October or November of 2016 when him and Bibiani had their debut.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I think this is another team, you know, and they got a great manager. It's always fun to see Roxy there. I really enjoy the manager aspect of this thing. You know, I didn't know they were going to have this many managers. And, you know, Roxy being their mouthpiece, you know, she's, you know, it's always nice to see her. You know, she'll probably talk trash against whoever they play against. I think this team could go far, man. You know, I can see them going to the 3rd round. You know, Jeff Snyder and Draco is a team to watch out for.
Yeah. James?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. Obviously, Draco, member of the 5 Club currently, but let's not forget, both he and Snyder are former members of the Lions Den. So there's a past connection there. So there's bound to be at least a little lingering chemistry from that. Like Haven said, a lot of people don't really like Snyder. The only reason I really didn't care for him is because he associated himself with Tom Dagnino. I think anybody who chooses to associate with Tom Dagnino is, I mean, you look, Dagnino's just got scumbag written all over him, and then Snyder, I mean, that just kind of transfers over. I mean, and not to be mean, but Snyder kind of looks like that used car salesman who fucks you over every single time. But that's just, I mean, sorry. Just look at his face. Look at his face. But when it comes right down to it, both of these guys are 2 solid players who can be very dangerous in this environment if people underestimate them. Now, I don't think they'd ever underestimate Draco. I think the main thing is that they would underestimate Snyder at this point because he's coming off 2 straight losses in title matches, and he just broke up with his teammate JTE. So they might be thinking maybe he's a little bit more unfocused at this point, but if Snyder can work past that and keep his focus, this is a team to keep an eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. Caleb?
Yeah, if Snyder can pull it together and make a comeback, I think this is a huge potential championship team right here. I think this team can go all the way to the finals at least. I think if Snyder can get his act together. I think as far as skill and entertainment level goes, I think this is the best team as far as that when you combine both elements is skill and entertainment, because you've got, you know, 2 guys, former Lions Den members who probably now don't really like each other. I think that's going to be kind of their banter back and forth, having to watch them get together. I think that's going to be super entertaining, but both players on their own are very skilled. I think Jeff Snyder's, you know, had a bit of a rough patch, but I think he can get that back together. They can go far.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on Snyder, like you guys said. And Draco, he's been playing really well. It's up to Snyder to see where his focus is and how far they're going to go.
Possible team name, the Indroid, instead of the
Nice.
Indroid.
Indroids, I like that. That's a good one.
That's a nice one.
Oh,
All right, so next up-
I'm sorry. Sorry,
Go ahead.
when we were on the topic of nicknames, I thought of one for Chance and for KO, Killer Chances.
Oh, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I like it.
Anyway,
All right, so next up we got, we were told that no teams were going to be kept together, but that was clearly wrong because the Wild Man, Josh McCouga, and Elliot Dubé are remaining a team, and they're going to be managed by Elliot's former partner, Ricky Hayberg. Now, on the surface, yeah, we love the Wild Bears. They're wildly entertaining. My question is, do any of you guys see them getting out of the first round? Caleb?
Yes.
Let me see who they're playing against this first round. Okay, they are playing JTE and Lon Harris in the first round. So, yeah, they're going to be out first round, barring a miracle. So, yeah, they're not going to make it far. But that said, Wild Berries, woo! They're the best, even though they're not the best. Like, Wild Berries, they're so great. It's going to be fun watching that first match. So, yeah.
yeah. No, just like
Jane?
Caleb was saying, when it comes down to it, if they're being stacked up against that team of Lon Harris and JTE, the only way Wild Berries are making it out of the first round is if Lon and JT somehow get a contact drunk through just the smell coming off of those guys. There's no freaking chance. Regardless, though, the antics of the Wild Berries might just throw JT and Lon off their game, because Lon's never played someone with the energy of a Josh McCouga or an Elliott Dewberry. So that could potentially come into play here. But like I said, it'd take a freaking miracle. But I do think it's cool that that Wild Berries are going to be sticking together. I will be doing a shot of Fireball later to celebrate.
Yeah. Haven?
If it was one team that it just shows you the greatness of the Wild Berries. It shows you how much fan support they have, that they're the only team that actually stuck to. Well, there's another team. Well, they're not really a team. They're more stable. But it's really interesting, especially with Ricky, being their mouthpiece. This match is going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. And we get to see the Wild Berries live one more time. So I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. Now, the next team we got, it's another team that could be in question for surrounding the team championship match, but Andrew Guy and Rachel Cushing being managed by Robert Meyer Burnett. Now, we don't know if this team will actually happen. We don't know if Robert Meyer Burnett will even manage this team. I'm not trying to get too negative, but given certain things, we don't know if he's going to actually manage. Hopefully he does. I look forward to seeing him manage. James, what are your thoughts on this pairing, if it does actually happen?
If it does end up happening, all I can say is I feel bad for Rachel for having to deal with that douche nozzle Andrew Guy on a consistent basis. Dear God Almighty, that man never shuts the hell up. And even worse is Robert Meyer Burnett is just as loud as Andrew Guy is when he wants to be. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Robert Meyer Burnett. I think he's a great human being. I'd love to get him on an episode of Sweating It Out at some point, or even here in Jack of All Trivia doing an interview. There's a couple different things that could affect his involvement here. We know he keeps a busy schedule, so he may or may not be available to manage consistently. Also, we know what went on with Schnepp a couple of weeks ago. That's bound to have hit him about as hard as it's hit anybody. So that's going to definitely be something that's weighing in. But yeah, I mean, if there was ever a time I was rooting for the Shire Wolves any harder, it was so Rachel does not have to be paired up with Andrew Guy, because I don't want to see her have to deal with him.
Okay, well, I think my buddy Haven here is going to have a different take on this.
Oh, I guarantee he will.
I think that I think it's really oh shit, this guy got up. Oh, hold on. I think besides the miscues, I believe Robert Meyer Burnett is going to be there. He will be their manager. He's a great mouthpiece. He's almost like a Ric Flair on the mic. He's going to be loud. He's going to be going crazy. He's going to be screaming. And I think that this is going to be if you ask Rachel Cushing, what people that she would love to be partnered up with, I think this is the dream team right here. Robert as the mouthpiece and Andrew Guy as her partner. She's going to be in heaven right now. This is going to be a great team, and they're going to be mulling people over. And I can't wait to see this go down.
Well, Haven, real quick before I get to you, Caleb, I don't think you're going to see this team because I firmly believe the Shire Wolves will be the team champions, but that's a discussion for another day. Caleb, what do you think about all this?
I think Haven's crazy right now. I think Rachel Cushing's not going to be happy. I mean, Andrew Guy's a solid player, and I think Rachel Cushing's an amazing player, but let's face it, come on. Andrew Guy, between the two of them, he's the weak link there. Rachel Cushing is far better. He's the weak link. He's a good player, but Rachel Cushing is miles ahead of him. And, yeah, I think this is going to be a fun team to watch. As far as who they are playing first, they are playing I I don't see it anyway. Oh, they're playing Kalinowski and Ellison, so that's going to be a good match. Okay, I think that there's a chance this team might not make it past the first round. There's a chance.
Well, like I said, and I assume you're with me on this. I don't believe Rachel will be in this thing because I believe the Firewolves are going to win the belts.
Well, that depends on who Brienne can get.
Yeah.
You know, if Brienne can get somebody really, really good, I think there's a chance. But yeah, if she can't get somebody amazing, then Firewolves, they're probably going to take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So next up. We got Winston Marshall and Stacey Howard. Now these are two. Stacey's a good player. I don't think she's great. Winston, he's been decent enough, and they'll be managed by Coy Jandrew. Caleb, I'll go to you first because you can pull up who they'll face in first. But I got them as a first round exit.
Well, yeah, the people they're facing first is Merle and Roca. You know, at the live event.
Oh yeah. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it past the first round. I think Roca and Merle are gonna try, but no matter what, I think these are two kind of on the teams that they were or are on. I think we can all agree they were kind of the weaker links, the second bananas, if you will. They're solid players, but I really don't think even if by some miracle they can beat, Roca and Merle, I don't think they can make it past second round.
Yeah. James?
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, flat out. I mean, you look at Winston, he's been 50-50 ever since any of this stuff was going on as far as World's Finest. He's good in certain things, but he's definitely got his weak spots. Stacey, she's come – I think Stacey's come leaps and bounds from where she was when it comes to 6 degrees. But as far as their chances against two heavyweights like Merle and Roca, no chance in hell. Sorry, they're done.
Haven?
I think they're a solid team. They have a stiff competition. But, this is the first time Dan and Roca are teaming up together. So, maybe I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close. It will go to the third round.
I'll be down in a few minutes.
Stacey is she's a good solid competitor. We just don't see her playing enough. She has a great record. They might surprise us, but I think the thing I really like about this team is Coy being their mouthpiece because I think he's going to be the more exciting thing about this whole thing. Him, just talking and stuff. I like Coy, so that's fun.
Yep.
All right. So next up, we got another rookie going to be making his debut. He is Mark Edward Hauk. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that last name. He'll be teamed up with Whitney Seibold, and they'll be managed by Johnny Acosta. Now, Whitney's a good player. He's had some success. Mark, we have yet to see him play. So, I mean, I think this is a team that could advance beyond the first round, but I don't know how. Caleb, I'll go to you. Who are they facing in the first round?
In the first round, they are facing McWeeny and Clark Wolf. So, yeah, I highly doubt they're going to beat them because McWeeny and Clark Wolf are amazing players. So, it's going to take a miracle. I like Whitney Seibold a lot. I think he's great and a good – I think critically acclaimed. It's a great team. But, yeah, I highly doubt that these two players are going to make it past round one.
Well, I mean, it's possible because, again,
McWeeny and Wolf.
If the Firewolves win the team belts, Clark will not be McWeely's partner. So if they do, it'll be somebody else taking her spot.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I forgot.
Yeah. Haven?
Yeah, this is another one that I feel kind of bad for. If I'm not going to butcher his name, Whitney Seibold.
Seibold, yeah.
Whitney Seibold.
I feel kind of bad for his partner because a lot of focus is on Mike's partner, and we haven't seen Mark play, so he's kind of getting overshadowed by Mike's partner. So he's not really getting a lot of buzz right now in the on the fan reaction page. So, you know, Whitney's a strong ass competitor. He just doesn't play a lot. He played team matches, but not too many singles. I think this guy just maybe next year or maybe this year in the singles tournament, he'll break out and whip major ass. But he's kind of been, he's not really been on the forefront this season. But he's a hell of a player, man. And I think if Mark could keep up with Whitney, I think they could be a dangerous team. A surprising team.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible, and obviously, I don't know Mark, but maybe he doesn't maybe he likes that the spotlight isn't being put on him. Maybe he likes it that way, so then he can come in and be like, shock the world.
That's definitely a possibility. The big question mark with this team is Mark. That's the fact, is we don't know anything really about him. Honestly, this is not a knock. I'd never even heard of him until yesterday, or whenever I watched this, which would have been last night was when I got a chance to finally watch this. But yeah, Whitney's a solid competitor, so as long as Mark can bring the same, if not maybe even a higher level of competition that Whitney brings, it could be an entertaining match. So, like I said, it just comes down to who they're facing because of the whole situation there, and how these two match up together as far as their knowledge bases. So,
hey, C-Dub, can I ask you a question? Did they show a picture of him when they revealed?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got gray hair. I was made aware of him. I believe it was a couple months ago because Christian confirmed on his Twitter that Mark was going to be competing in the Schmoedown. He just didn't say when. It was a couple months ago.
Okay.
All right. And managed by Johnny LaCosta. He's a great mouthpiece for the league. That'll be interesting to see how that whole team forms.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since Mike turned his back on him.
Yeah. Well, actually, we haven't seen him since when Mike made him. He kicked him out of the at the desk and replaced him for the IG match. The collision with Cushing and Zipper.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so next up we got two rookies this year. They've been both pretty well established players. Eric Zipper, or as Kalinowski likes to call him, Zippy Doodah, and Haley Fouch, who was a standout from Scream Queens earlier this week. And they're going to be managed by Steele Saunders. I mean, this is a good team. Outside of Inner Geekdom, I don't really know what their strengths are, per se. But, Caleb, again, I'll go to you first. Who are they facing in the first round?
They're playing Bateman and Riley. So that's going to be interesting. I think that's going to be one of the best first-round matches to see. Because those are two teams. Yeah, I think these are two underrated players. I think these are two players that don't get enough attention for being as good as they are. These are both two players who I want to see go into the singles league because I think they could do very well in that. So, yeah, I think this is a team that can go far, and I think it's a potential. They could beat Riley and Bateman. I think there's possible that Riley could be out round one. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that match really depends on what Riley we get.
Yeah. Or how much he just doesn't want to be around Ben Bateman to where he just quits. The fact of the matter is that you're right. These are two very underrated players. But yeah, I mean, going up against Riley and Bateman, it does depend on how well Bateman and Riley gel as a team. I mean, you look at Zip Zap Zop, Zippity Doodah, whatever the hell you want to call him. And I'm making jokes. I mean, I have all the respect in the world for every Schmoedown competitor, but they both obviously got strengths that may or may not come into play in the team tournament. So there's always that end of things as well. So yeah, I'll give them a 50-50 shot against Riley and Bateman.
Yeah. Haven?
Once this team was formed, I was excited for it because there are two young players, two new players that seem like they know their stuff. You know, the more matches they played, the better they could get. I really enjoyed Haley, if I'm saying her name correctly. I really enjoyed her. You know, she really showed some dominance in her last match with the Scream Queens. I'm really on her bandwagon right now, but unfortunately, they're going against Tom Dagnito's team, and you know he's not going to let Mark Riley or Ben Bateman take a day off. He's going to go there. He's the best. He's going to be the best manager in this tournament, and he's not going to let these guys lose the first round. So if they didn't have him, it probably would have been closer. But since Tom is there, I see a KO.
Yeah, if Tom's actually there and not hanging out in his dumpster where somebody tossed in a half-eaten Reuben that he decided to finish off.
Score one, James.
All right, so next up we got the Mance Man, Scott Mance and Sean Gerber. I like these guys. Again, I'm gonna keep going to Caleb first because he has the schedule pulled up. I don't know who they're facing, but I'm predicting they'll probably be a first round exit. So Caleb, who are they facing?
I'm also predicting they're going to be a first round exit because they're playing Snyder and Draco.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Scott Mance so much, and I'm upset. You know, he didn't get partnered up with somebody a little bit better. But yeah, I think, you know, unless he was partnered up with like a super top tier player, I think no matter what, he's probably going to lose against Snyder and Draco. But, you know, it's tough to see Mance lose anytime because he's such a great competitor. Just so much fun to watch, you know, with movie release dates.
Well, that's not his gimmick anymore, sadly.
Yeah, that's
Ben Bateman.
I don't want to acknowledge that.
Nobody really does. I was watching that match, and I was saying, when they brought the papers, I was like, "Don't do it, Mance, don't do it." And then he signed it, and I was like, "Son of a bitch."
You make me sad.
Yep. But the fact of the matter is you've got, as Caleb has dubbed them, the Indroids going up against Soda. I'm gonna dub the Gerber babies, and yeah, I'm gonna say they're going out first round. Sorry. I mean, granted, Scott's very good at what he does. He gave Ben Bateman a hell of a fight in that one-on-one match, and he is a solid competitor overall. But, yeah, I just don't see them stacking up nearly as well as Draco and Snyder.
Yeah. And they don't even, and the rest of the teams, they don't even have managers. Somebody to help them out.
Yeah.
Haven?
Oh, so me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing that kind of bums me out about the whole anarchy thing is that after Team 11, the last 5 teams don't have a manager, and they could have got other people in there. You know, it just seems kind of, I don't know. It just sucks because Scott Mance, he talks shit, but he's a weak talker. Like, no matter, he's just too nice in real life, and you know, he can talk his trash, but it never comes off believable. And it would have been nice if these teams would have had managers. I'm looking at the list right now, and they could have called in a couple other people, man, to come in and manage these teams, because right now this team is just kind of lackluster, to be honest. You know, I can't really say nothing else. I mean, I love Scott Mance, but this team just doesn't do it for me.
Well, the fact that we don't have that many managers left to actually handle these last couple of teams probably just comes down to availability, if anything else. Yeah. You know, they don't want to commit to something.
They have to pull it, man. I'm surprised Dale to do it isn't a manager of one of these teams.
Nah, that could have been interesting, but they probably just didn't want him spitting out dude every 5 words.
Sorry, but no.
I know. Chris would have blown his brains out if he had to deal with that.
No, thank you. I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life. No, that dude thing. No. Sorry.
Come on, dude. I mean, you don't got no respect for the dude. I mean, my dude. Come on, man.
All right, so next up we got Alonzo Duralde and Matt Atchity, who I believe Caleb said that they are facing
Irwin and Machine.
Yeah, Janine and Ethan. I mean, decent team, but I believe they're going out in the first round.
Yeah, I think they'll put up a decent fight, but I don't see them going much further. I mean, Vacation Atchity, the Hawaiian shirts and everything like that. I mean, and even then, even if he does have anything else going on, I mean, who knows what his schedule is going to demand to where he could even compete anywhere even further than one round or anything like that. So, but I think Matt Atchity's place is with Gray Drake. Their entrances as MODOK, their collaboration, their energy. I just don't see it gelling nearly as well with anyone else. Yeah.
Caleb?
Yeah, I don't know too much about this Duralde. Has he played before?
Yeah, he was in the first free-for-all.
Oh, okay, but that's all he's done.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why I don't remember him too well. Yeah, I think this is definitely a first-round out team because I think Ethan Irwin and Machine probably going to take them on. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about them. Just kind of seem like not going to be too tough of a match. Tough of a team, I mean.
Haven, you have anything you want to add?
Guess not.
Okay, I guess not. All right, so next up we got Lon Harris and JTE, who I believe you said would potentially be facing Andrew Guy and Cushing?
No, these are the Wildberries.
Oh, yeah.
Who was it you said they'd be facing?
Wildberries.
Oh, the Wildberries. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, love you, Wildberries, but you're going out early.
Yeah. I've actually got a fun little nickname for this team. I'm calling them the Professors of Evil.
I like it.
Little evil with the professor, but yeah, this will be an interesting one because we know both of them are very knowledgeable. I think JT might be able to speak on some of the other films that maybe Lon isn't nearly as familiar with, like your Sly and Arnie films, your comic books and stuff like that. Lon, I think, will be able to fill in the gaps with JT as far as classics and things like that. So these guys are a good match. I'd like to see where these two go. And honestly, I know Haven's probably upset these guys don't have a manager. That Tom Dagnino's not with JT on this one. But let's be honest, JT doesn't need a mouthpiece. He's pretty good at talking trash on his own.
Yeah, and I firmly believe that in the second round at least, Lon Harris will actually answer all of the questions. Just to avoid any possible mispronunciations.
There you go.
Yeah, Alicia Dooku thanks you for that. Alicia
that was too funny.
And Geppetto all there. But yeah,
never forget.
I think you could call this team something like Grammar School or Spelling Bee or something like that.
That's a good one too. I like it.
Yeah, because
name it after a Rodney Dangerfield movie. Back to School.
That'd be great. JT certainly doesn't get no respect.
No respect at all.
I think this is going to be I think this is a team of two pretty good players, and I think just their interactions are going to be really fun to watch. And they know each other because they're on Screen Junkies together, and I believe they do a lot of reviews on JTE's channel a lot. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think they'll have good back and forth, good banter. So I think this will be a team to look out for, and again, a potential dark horse for that championship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Haven, you have anything you want to say about this team? Okay, I guess not.
Ladies and gentlemen, the villain has left the building.
We got the team who's going to be taking on Winston Marshall and Stacey Howard at the live event. It is Dangerous Dan Murrell and John Roca. I believe this is one of the other three teams who could very well easily win this entire thing. And yeah, I mean, we already talked about this match a little bit. Do you guys have anything you want to add?
All I will say is, Stacy, Winston, it was nice knowing you. But the fact of the matter is I don't know who I would choose in this situation, but I can see it just as easily. Schmoedown Spectacular this year. The Fife Club being represented by the Shire Wolves, and Dan Murrell and Roca representing the Five Horsemen. I can't call a winner in that one because I love both groups, but man, I see this team going all the way because Roca is as hungry as he has ever been. Murrell, you know he is as hungry as he has ever been after that loss to Andrew Guy.
Yeah.
So this is my pick to win the whole damn tournament.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one team, if I could only choose one team that's could be it, I think this is it. I think, it'll be close no matter what, but I think this is the team. I mean, they're two legends. Like, if we had like a Mount Rushmore of Schmoedown, these two guys would without a question be on it. These are two of the greatest players of all time. Roca, being a former team champion himself, being a former champion, Dan Murrell being a former champion. This is the team that should make everybody else crap their pants. Like, this is the team to scare everybody. This is the team to look out for.
Now, to be fair, let's be fair here. It also depends on how the brackets lay out. Like, we know who they're facing in the first round, but we have no idea what's to come later.
That's fair.
So
that's a fair point.
In all fairness, but again, my heart goes with the Horsemen. They're taking it all away. That's just me.
Yeah, and they very well could. Now, last up, we got another team that may or may not happen. It's Drew McWeeny and Clark Wolf. Like I said again, I don't believe this team will actually happen. But if it does, Caleb, who would they potentially be facing?
They would be facing Movie Geek and Whitney Seibold.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I think, that's a team that if they happen, that's a potential championship team. If, assuming Clark Wolf doesn't, become a team champion herself, I think this is a potential championship team. Drew McWeeny, already a former team champion. Clark Wolf, one of the best players of all time. I think this is, if this team actually happens, this is one to watch out for, definitely.
Yeah. I will absolutely 100% concur on that one. If I were to pick, if this team does end up actually happening, which I'm not convinced it will, because I'm convinced in my heart of hearts, Shire Wolves are the next team. But if by some stretch of the imagination this does end up happening, this would be the only team I could see potentially giving Murrell and Roca a run for their money. Because Clark, like we said, absolute heavy hitter, one of the absolute greatest Schmoedown competitors that we've ever seen. And Drew McWeeny, I mean, he's the godfather. I mean, there's a reason he is a former team champion. He's an absolute monster when it comes to this. So if this team were to end up actually materializing, I could see them, again, depending on how the brackets work out, making it all the way to the finals, if not to a team title match. But again, I'm going to stick with my pick, and that's the Horsemen.
All right. Haven?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I had to run to the store real quick, so thank you. This is a team that I didn't know I wanted until it was announced, and it seems like this team was always like a piece missing out of you, that you didn't know what was missing until you seen it. And man, if this team does play, I think this would be so awesome. But Clark and Rachel, you see them, you're like, oh, that's a perfect team. And then you say McQueenie, Clark Wolf, you're like, holy shit. Like, man, I would love to see this, man. So I'm so torn. I'm 50-50. I love the Shire Wolves. I hope they win, but if they don't win, I'm I'm salivating to see this team enter the Anarchy Tag Team Tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I also, like I said, I don't believe this team will happen. But James, I got to say something. I got to completely disagree with you that say in fact this team does happen, that it's the only team that could beat Roca and Merle. I don't think you're giving enough credit to Kalinowski and Chance here. I mean, Kalinowski's been hot, and we all know what Chance can do. I think they have a very good shot at defeating them, and I also think Janine and Ethan have a very good shot at beating them.
I will give you credit on Chance and Kalinowski and those two teams. You're right. They do have powerhouse potential. All it takes is one bad day. All it takes is Kalinowski being off his game for 1 second, or even for Janine or Ethan to drop the ball in one situation, and that's to go for any of these teams.
Yeah.
All it takes is one missed question, one wrong spin of the wheel to send these teams completely derailing. And again, and like I said, that includes the Horsemen. So, like I said, I'm when it comes down to it, yes, there are those who have the potential to give the run for their money to any other team. But like I said, I'm just going with one pick that I feel like has the biggest potential to actually take it to the finals, take it to the Schmoedown Spectacular, and to me, that's Merle and Roca.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I respect that. I didn't think that McLean and Clark were the only team that could potentially beat them.
Yeah, fair.
All right, so I mean that wraps up the teams, but I want to ask you guys all one question. Now, excluding, actually, I'll do two questions. Number one, I assume I'll go to you first, James. I assume it's Roca and Merle. Who is the team that you have winning this thing?
Based on the ones that we know are still solid, the ones that don't have any kind of shenanigans with the team title match coming up, interfering in their makeup. Like I said, there's a lot of talent here. To me, it's Roca and Merle, but again, I could see potential in a Janine and Ethan. I could see potential in Chance and Kalinowski, and I could see potential in Snyder and Andreyko. But like I said, I got to go with the guy I've been riding and dying with since day one, and that is the Outlaw. So I'm Outlaw Nation for life. I mean, granted, I also have a subscription to the Fife Club, but I'm sorry, it's Outlaw Nation, ride or die. Sorry.
Okay. Haven?
Before I answer that question, I just want to say that as much shit as I give Mike, this Anarchy thing is so refreshing. It's so great for this season. All these teams, I think everybody's accustomed to having their favorites already, from seasons prior, that they forget that Late to the Party won their first round match last year in the tag team tournament when everybody thought that the team they played against was going to be a powerhouse. Yep. Thank you.
I had Late to the Party winning that match.
Okay. And so right now, I don't have any teams because out of 16 teams, if they all stay intact, 3 of these teams are going to be sleepers. They're going to win matches that you would think like, no, they're not going to win. And right now, I'm just waiting to see these matches. I'm just waiting to see these matches. I don't have a favorite right now because you don't know who.
I got you. All right, Caleb?
Yeah, I if I have to give the edge to one team, I'm going the Horsemen. That said, I think there are a lot of, dark horses in this that could take it. I think, it really just depends. But if I have to pick one, I think the Horsemen are going to end up with this.
Yeah, I totally respect that. Now, while I really like Roca and Merle, I really like Janine and Ethan, I'm going with fucking Kalinowski and Chance. Like, I legit think the world is not prepared for what they're about to see from Chance. you can call me biased because he's a fellow fan. I mean, I know you guys won't, but I got them taking this thing. I legit think Chance is gonna take over the league by storm.
Yeah. The
I mean-
reason
sorry, go ahead,
I'm
Caleb,
not
go ahead.
like super confident in that team. Like I'm very confident, but like don't think they're gonna go all the way. Is not because of Chance Ellison, but because of Mike Kalinowski. I think he's
But
only
he's
there. What?
He's hot.
He's hot in the intergeekdom. He's good in intergeekdom, but as far as singles, man, he's never been like amazing in singles. Like the only great player he's ever beaten is Brianne Chandler. That's it. He beat her twice, but still, I think the only great player he's ever beaten in singles is Brianne. So I don't know. This is the movie division, not Inner Geekdom. If it's were Inner Geekdom, that's a different story. But I think here, I think Mike Kalinowski is gonna be the weak link. So I think they're gonna make it very far, but I don't think they're gonna make it to the championship.
Another thing to consider with that team is Chance, granted, in Jack of all trivia and in a bunch of other fan trivia leagues, he has been a champion. There's a difference between sitting in front of your computer like this and sitting up at that desk with the lights on you and the world watching. There's a nerve factor that's going to come into play here. And again, it also depends on how well he and Kalinowski gel as well. So, granted, do they have potential to go very far? Absolutely. They absolutely do. There's a number of teams that do. But as far as like cohesion and, first time jitters going into a match like this, Chance has never dealt with something like that. So that's a wrinkle that could be thrown in as well.
That is true, but I've talked to Chance many times. He's not the type of person that strikes me as getting nervous under the lights. He oozes confidence, and he has the swagger and he has the knowledge. I firmly believe that he's going to be a fucking superstar quick.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, you could also have all that swagger and everything, and that can mask a maelstrom of nerves and just uncertainty that's hiding underneath. So I wouldn't take that at face value, but you're absolutely right.
Alrighty, so now I want to pose you guys one final question. Now, taking your picks out for who you think is going to win this thing, is there one team you think could actually stick beyond this tournament? I'll go to you first, Caleb.
Like, what do you mean? Like a team that'll stay together after?
Yeah, even if this team has a first round, second round exit, a team that could potentially stay together beyond this thing.
All right. Yeah. Let me look at the list here for a second. James, you got an answer already, or?
I mean, I have my answer. I can go to you, James, or I can get my answer now.
Yeah, maybe give yours if James isn't ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe Lon Harris and JTE could very well stick together after this thing.
I mean, there's a potential there, but I think JTE and Finstock are kind of attached to the hip right now. So I don't know if JTE would necessarily ditch what's left of the Lions Den to go into the School of the Elite, which is the faction with Harris and Cody Hawk. So I just don't see that happening.
And I have one other answer. Janine and Ethan. I think they could stick.
Yeah, I mean, there's potential that Ethan could join up with the Viper squad there. I won't say that there's no chance of that, but I mean, there's a possibility. If I had to take a guess, I mean, obviously the Wild Berries are sticking together. We know that's not happening, so that's absolutely. I don't know. Maybe the only other one that really sticks out is potentially KO and Chance if they gel well together.
Well, that's why I didn't say that as my answer because I was saying take out who you think are going to win the championship.
Right. And then, depending on how things are going with Team Trek and whatnot, maybe Mance and Gerber. Other than that, I don't really see any that have that sort of potential because, again, you take out the Horsemen, you take out the Wild Berries. There's no ones that I think will gel nearly as well together. So, but those are the only two I would think of. Caleb?
Yeah, I think probably KO and Chance. I think that's out of all of them. I think that's the one that could take it. But yeah, I don't see, unless they just go super far with it, I don't see most of these teams staying together. Maybe, yeah, besides Merle and Roca and Chance and KO, I don't see any of these teams really staying together unless they can maybe make it to the finals. Then there's an argument to be made there.
Right.
Yeah. Haven?
Yeah, out of all these teams, I have to say, I think Janine and Ethan, I think they'll probably stick together if they go far. Because Janine doesn't have a tag team partner at the moment. This is going to be her first tag team match. And I think that they could mesh well. I could even see Ethan telling them that they have to ditch Jay Washington to be a team. Maybe Janine takes over as the mouthpiece. But I can see that happening. Mike, I don't see that team lasting because if they do eventually lose the match, I can see Mike blaming a fan player for his downfall. So that's where I see that story going. And Jeff Snyder and Draco, that team might. I think that team might stick if it depends on. I know he's Five Club, but I don't know. Maybe Snyder goes a face for the next season and joins them.
But I don't see Emma Five ever letting Snyder into the Five Club, no matter how good he gets.
Yeah, at least not at face value anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe she turned. Maybe she gives him a chance because he redeemed. In her eyes. I don't know. That would be interesting if they stayed.
I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's a potential there. I think it'd be a hard sell as far as like storyline goes. But I mean, there's absolutely potential there.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up for this week. Everybody out there, I hope you enjoyed it. Caleb, I'll go to you first. Where can everybody find you?
Oh, yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Caleb Boatman. I do Schmoedown reactions there. You can find me every time I'm able right here on this show, Schmoedown All Access. It's always so much fun to be here. I love being on this show. And you can find me on Jack of All Trivia whenever I have matches. I love playing that. You should totally check out the last match I played, which is a triple threat against Christopher Day and Caleb Mashed Potatoes. That was so much fun. It was such a great match. If you haven't seen that yet, check that out. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was a great match. Everybody, you should watch it. And you should watch his reactions, because they are awesome as well.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome, bro. James?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at James Shimo. I do Schmoedown reactions, Death Battle reactions when I remember to actually sit down and watch them. Trailer reactions of all kinds. I still need to get my Venom trailer reaction up as well. You can also find me there at my own show, Sweating It Out, where a bunch of sweaty nerds get together and just dish on whatever topic they want to discuss. We've got 2 potential new episodes coming. First is we discuss our top 10 favorite kaiju movies, and then the second will be the top 10 movies we think, or top 10 properties we think can make great movie franchises. So if anybody wants to join in on that, you're welcome to. You can also find me here at Jack of All Trivia, running the Inner Geekdom League. We've got a big match coming up, the King of the Mountain, in about 3 weeks. Chris, I know you have already qualified, as has Grant Gregory. We have 3 more matches coming up. This week, it will be the live match is Richard Schwartz versus Caleb Mashed Potatoes Hansen. We had to switch around some competitors because Sean was having scheduling conflicts. We also have Dominic Rizzi going up against newcomer Jeff Matson. So be on the lookout for that match as well. And then we also have one other pre-recorded match. It was, I believe it was Jay Burns and who was his opponent? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
JD West?
Yes, it was Jay Burns and JD West. So that match should be coming out fairly soon as well. So be on the lookout for those. And Caleb, congratulations. You just got yourself a new subscriber. Me.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, and you can find me, as always, here on Schmoedown All Access every single Sunday.
Yes, and people, you should also watch James's reactions because they kick ass as well.
Molto grazie.
Yep. And Haven?
Oh, well, you can find me on Facebook at Jack of All Trivia. That's how you join. That's how you can watch. That's how you join the league and play in the different divisions. And of course, on YouTube at Jack of All Trivia. You see my mug here with all these amazing contributors, all the contestants, just the great community we have. Yeah, we do IG, we do wrestling, we do movies, and tag teams is coming back. So, and of course, we have the Schmoedown All Access, which just rocks it on Sundays with a great panel as always. I'm privileged to be here. And of course, on YouTube, you can watch the interviews that C-Dub and the villain host with some great, amazing contestants from the movie trivia Schmoedown. Thank you.
Yep. And finally, you can find me on YouTube at Christopher Woodburn, Twitter, Chris Woodburn83, Facebook, Christopher Michael Woodburn. And if you do Schmoedown reactions, trailer reactions, come join the MTS Fan Reaction League. It's a lot of fun on Facebook. Like Haven said, find our interviews. Last Thursday, we interviewed the amazing Mara Kanopik. That was a lot of fun. You can go back and check out our old episodes with Ben Bateman, William Bibiani. And also, yeah, every Sunday, 3 o'clock, Schmoedown All Access. These guys are always with us. So until next week, we hope you enjoyed yourself. Peace.